Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is the voice of Agrode, one of the founders of Splinterlands. This is our next Splinterlands town hall. As Liberty Lass is showing us, the general agenda for these things is that we start with updates from the founders and other team members. We then pull in questions from the last week, maybe 2 weeks, and then lastly we go into a Q&A session, and that's when literally we'll answer any question from anybody. Today, so Crypt Keeper, just hang on to your question. The general questions will be open towards the end of the show. We're going to start with the questions that we'll start with a conversation with the team, and then we'll go to the previous questions, and then it's open to audience questions. So not quite the standard AMA format, and that's part of why we rebranded this thing to the town hall format. As per usual, I'm joined by my co-founder, Matt. Matt, do you want to say hi to the audience?
Everyone, welcome to the town hall. Great to be here. We'll, hopefully you'll be excited to meet a whole bunch of the new people on the team, and and just we'll try to answer your questions and everything. It should be good.
And who's on stream right now? I don't have the stream pulled up. I have everybody pulled up. So I also have one of the other wizards on the council here. We have Richard or Hardpoint. Hardpoint, do you want to give a quick shout out this morning?
Hey guys, good morning. Excited to be here. I'm Richard or Hardpoint, and really excited to hear of all these new faces and team members that have joined us. Some of them have been here for a little bit. Some of them just joined this week. So been really excited to show them off.
Awesome. And Nate, you want to go give us a quick introduction and who you are and where you're at?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, happy Friday, everybody. We're excited to be here, excited to share what's going on with the game. I'm creative director, looking over the creative aspects of things, and just ready to have fun.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess I'm feeling less and less need to do this every time, but I guess it's kind of the format. Richard, do you want to give me like a quick sense of, are the servers on fire? Is everything doomed? Are we scaling okay? How are we handling the large growth that's come in? And give us just an update on, are the game servers functioning and doing what they're supposed to do right now?
Yeah, we had a great kickoff this week on the 17th at noon Eastern. We opened the general sale up, and we had over 2.1 million packs sold in the first 24 hours, which was really exciting. And we had a little guess by the community. We did a little game where people could submit their answers. And what was really interesting is that the community guessed 2.4 million was the median. So pretty darn close to what we actually did. What was exciting about that is that the systems that we thought were going to break didn't break. The systems we didn't realize would slow down. So we had during that day a bunch of issues where credits were behind and it was just taking extra long. We had thought more people would have had their credits in hand prior, and nope, everybody wanted to get credits all at the exact same time. So we were behind for a bit of the day doing that, but the system caught up and everything's been running pretty smooth. Exciting to see that. And actually, one of the other interesting stats I saw this week as we've been looking at things is our marketplace is about almost double, hosting about almost double the amount of items on it right now. So we usually were running around 800,000 items, and we're running right around 1.5 million items on the market right now, and everything seems to be kind of turning well. The dev team has been doing a fabulous job, and just want a big shout out to all those guys and all the hard work they did prior to lead up to launch.
Well, not only that, we had what I would consider a super smooth launch for Chaos Legion, but then we also had 3 airdrops go out. So bam, bam, bam. Lear, what is it? Liza, and then also Grum. That was awesome. Just like, hey, you bought a bunch of cards. Here's your here's your sweet drops, and it's great to see. And I see Azircon's got a max level. That's how you flex. Nice work.
I know, I'm so jealous. I wanted a gold foil to drop when I was opening my airdrops, and I got commons. But I'm so happy for all the people that got the gold foils. Those are exciting to see when you get that. You know, that it's something fun about our game is that there's so many levels of entertainment. And for the funniest thing is, ever since I've been here, opening packs has been one of the things I've really enjoyed, is just opening a pack and seeing what I get.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I guess, do you want to talk a little bit? Everybody wants to know about roadmap. So I want to do just a handful of minutes on our creative roadmap, a handful of minutes on our technology roadmap, and a handful of minutes maybe for Matt on our product roadmap. So Richard, why don't you give us kind of the quick, 411 on, not everything, because I know there's a lot, but just kind of hit the major beats of what's coming up for the new product, or I guess I don't know. You kind of have a lot of this stuff on your plate, but give us the big picture of like what we're working on.
Yeah, so I know Nate's going to dive into some of these, and Matt will too. So just high level, and I'll let Matt talk about this more. SPS governance and getting validators out, which is something Matt's been working on, and that's huge for us. So that's going to be hopefully in testnet soon, where we'll be trialing it. Very excited about that. That will also lead into having a place for SPS voting, where people can use their staked SPS to vote for proposals and changes to the game platform. We're really excited about that. We've have that kind of in the middle of design, been development. So hopefully see that in the next little bit. Very excited about that from those perspectives. High level, we got Modern and Wild coming. So we're in the middle of ramping up on that. We're in the middle of ramping up Land, which is also coming. Really excited about both of those big pieces. There's a lot of other quality of life things that I have at least dozens of conversations with people weekly about different ways that we can improve the game, improve the economy, and you'll start seeing some of those percolate soon.
Awesome, Matt. Do you want to give us a little heads up on some of the validator nodes, and just, I know we talk about them, but we have so many new audience members every week. Do you want to kind of give a high level and just a little bit of a status report on where you're at?
Yep. The validator nodes are it's going to be open source software that anyone will be able to run, that will read and validate all SPS related transactions posted to the Hive blockchain. So within the spirit of blockchain and openness and transparency, it will be, the code will be open and available for everyone to run and validate the transactions. And then not only that, people will be able to register to be validators, similar to like block producers on EOS or Hive or Tron and that type of thing. And then everyone who has SPS staked in their account will be able to vote for the validators that they want to kind of run the network, the top validators. And then the top ones by votes will not only be responsible for validating all of the transactions, but they'll also be the signatories on multi-sig wallets for the SPS Foundation, which has funds on Hive and Binance Smart Chain and even on Ethereum. So there's millions of dollars of funds, currently in the SPS Foundation and growing, and that will be all controlled by the top validators, which are voted on by the token holders. So that's really the way that we turn this into a full DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization that at that point will be no longer run or controlled in any way by us, the Splinterlands company. It'll be all in the hands of the SPS token holders. So that's really kind of the main part of this whole vision of creating the first game. That's really, not only can players own their assets, which is a great step in the right direction, but to have them be able to own the game and the experience and, control what happens, how funds are used and all that stuff. That's like the next evolution of this whole project. So yeah, I think everyone, at least on the team, is super excited for it. I've had a lot of community members, ask me about running validators and all that stuff. I want to, let everyone know that as soon as that's ready, we will put out all the information so everyone, has it and can run it, and what, hardware is required and all that stuff. As far as timing, I was hoping to have it at least in testnet by this point, but things end up taking longer than expected, as there's been a few things that came up, a few changes we'll need to make that I didn't anticipate, and but at this point it's mostly all running. We've, in our little tests in my development machine, I've been able to run the validator with a few different accounts that are validating blocks, and all that's kind of going pretty well. So I'm hoping within maybe the next couple weeks that we'll have a test net version out where other people can start running it, and we can see how that works and what other problems we run into before it goes live.
What are the big hurdles still left to kind of code or put in place?
Mostly everything's coded right now, so it's just the bug fixes, and just any other little things that we need to button up at this point.
No, that sounds awesome. Thanks for making progress. It's so freaking cool. I mean, Matt and I talk a lot about it. It's just like, we want to build the games and the kind of experience that we ourselves want. We are gamers. We're crypto nerds. We are crypto gaming nerds, and this is the coolest stuff that we can think of. And we want to make sure that there's money in the business to keep operating and keep. We got like 100 people these days, and you got to pay for that. So I want to make sure that there's money here. But as long as I can somehow figure out how we function as a business and grow the entire experience for everybody, the more that we can pass this off to the community, I'm all for it. It's freaking exciting. All right, Liam, can you give us a 30-second update in the fastest speech pattern you can provide? I'm just kidding. Give us an update, Liam. Tell us what's going on.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds good. As far as marketing stuff, it's really just kind of continuations from what you've heard from us previously. So really looking to continue to get all of our ads scaled. As far as kind of SEO goes and Facebook and Google, I mentioned last time that we were kind of building a separate subdomain or web page right now, just to kind of bypass a lot of the disapprovals that were coming in from Google and Facebook, just due to kind of crypto verbiage and source code on our website. So once we get that separate subdomain launched, not only are we going to be launching kind of Google, Facebook ads, as well as kind of their subsidiaries, so YouTube and Instagram as well. We'll also be looking at potentially scaling up SEO. So right now we're getting huge amounts of PR coming in from these really high domain, high authority websites, Bloomberg, kind of NASDAQ, everything else kind of far in between there. So as we do that, we'll be kind of scaling up all of our channels there. Otherwise, just continuing to work. The ZipMex is live. We've done some affiliate stuff as of late, but we'll just keep on trucking, and any new partnerships, we'll make sure that we keep you in the news about.
Awesome. All right. And Nate, you want to go tell us about all the things that the light touches on the screen?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everyone's really excited what Yabo was talking about with the governance. I can't wait to, or actually, we kind of already started sinking our teeth into adding the lore-based meta to what's being built. I'm excited to see how much of that bleeds into. I mean, what I'd really love to see is a lot of people just fantasy and reality just blurring, and pretty soon it's not about I'm a validator and I help with the Splinterlands network. It's like, no, I'm like, techno mage goober fuzzbottom, a keeper of the flame, and I'm protecting the world of the Splinterlands in this way. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff we could do from a lore perspective, and how that is bleeding into the real world. But above and beyond that, I think we're excited to be collaborating and hearing feedback little by little by the winners of the leaderboard for the pre-sale. So we are taking steps little by little towards figuring out what these legendary summoners are going to be like. So that's pretty exciting. But before that comes along, I think most of us can agree, players and team members alike, that the airdrops are just exciting as heck. It's cool to see those little banners light up and see how many I got. And then the cards themselves, I think that Matt did an amazing job in merging the artwork with the stats and making sure that these cards are fun to play, that there's a place for them in everybody's strategy. So I don't think that, I think every single card so far has been a home run in terms of cards that are fun to play, fun to look at. It's just, I'm excited. I think the players are too, and I can't wait for the next couple coming down the pipe. Modern versus yeah.
Oh, go on. Modern versus Wild is a good conversation, and I'd say if there's any eye candy you want to slap in here, I have a couple more minutes left for just sort of the general team, but then we have so many people to introduce. I want to hop into that quick. So I don't know. You get like maybe 3 to 5 minutes to talk about the Modern versus Wild, and then any eye candy you want to pop in.
All right, yeah, no problem. So I won't get too far into it then. So Modern versus Wild, trying to find reasons for SPS and vouchers, land. That's always on our radar, and we're continue to work on that. And hiring, we're bringing on a bunch of great, talented people, and I'm in the midst of interviewing more of these talented people, and I can't wait for you guys to hear from Roy in a little bit, who joined the creative team about a few weeks or a month ago, and he's been doing great work for UX design. In terms of eye candy, I don't know. Is there anything in particular that you want to see?
No, it's just mostly.
I know what I want to show.
He wants to. What do you want to show? Is it land? I'm assuming it's land, but what else?
No.
Your card art.
Yeah.
You can go put your.
I don't want to steal. I don't want to steal Nate's. If Nate has eye candy ready to go, I don't want to steal the thunder here. So,
what did you want to see?
He wants to show his new card, his business card.
Oh, your card.
Yeah.
I don't have the finished card yet. Did HCT, did Tyler give you the final artwork for that?
Yeah, I got the final artwork, but I don't have to share it. If you're not ready to share it, Nate, I don't want to jump in front of the train here.
I do have Matt's work in progress, which he's seen already.
Can we share that? Let's see that.
But but if you're okay with showing that, I'll show that. Let me see. So here's
air away. And Nate, I mean, if you want, I think we know what probably the next 2 airdrop card art will be. So
yeah,
if you want to just put the artwork for those cards, we don't have stats ready yet.
Oh wow, okay, sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
All right, let me get that then. Since Matt is signing off, people, it's funny because someone asked for a leak the other day, and I showed like this little itty bitty, like maybe 20 pixels by 20 pixels little block where you can't tell what it is. So for those of you who want to know the full picture of what that creature looks like, I present to you. Let me get it in the Discord.
Matt, I want to know what the meaning behind the 3 balls are.
I don't know. You have to ask Nate. I told the artist to make something cool.
Okay, sweet.
We're going for a very techno mage look because that was his original avatar. It's kind of looks a little techie, but also magic. So we're kind of combining the two, and I'm sure we can come up with a cool story to back it up. In terms of the next card, we believe that's probably going to be the neutral card, which is called the Spirit Hoarder. He comes from across the beyond the rift, and he's not really what I would call part of the invading force, but he's definitely not a defender either. He's just gobbling up the souls of everybody around him. No one knows quite what to make of that, but he looks very alienish, a little on the disturbing side. So he's pretty cool. And then the next one after that, if you guys remember that card from Untamed, the Gloridax Guardian. So imagine one of those guys is close to death or dead and is brought back with Chaos Legion technology to be this cyborgish looking Frankenstein monster of carnage. So that is nice. The Carnage Titan.
It's like a little bit of a. It's got some like Minotaur feel to it.
Yeah.
Like a steampunk Minotaur.
Definitely. So that's
That's
what
pretty
players
sweet.
have to look forward to. And as you can tell, I know there's been a lot of speculation about, are they going to be epics? No, these are going to be powerful, cool, new legendary cards that I think everyone's going to have
Yeah,
a lot of
I can
fun playing.
comment on the rarities because I know some people want other rarity cards, but based on just that, like I have lots of spreadsheets going over like the print rates of cards and all those things, and due to the fact that there's legendary potions, but there aren't epic potions or anything, there's actually like it's currently far easier to get all the legendary cards than like max level or all the other rarity cards, which is kind of backwards from how it should be. Like legendary cards should be more difficult to get on average. So that's one of the reasons why we're going for most of the airdrop cards to be legendary, if not all of them at this point, just because to make it that the numbers kind of work out right, where legendary cards are really legendary and they're the hardest ones to get if you're opening a large number of packs.
All right. Okay. Yeah, those cards look sweet. We're pretty close to the next one. We have a little over 300,000. A little over 300,000. We're probably at like like 75,000 pack clip, somewhere between 50 and 100,000 packs per day. So upper end is like 8 days, lower end is 4 days, but I think we're going to get into the 7 million range here pretty soon. So yeah, if you guys want your next airdrop cards, you're definitely going to want to load up on some packs over the next little bit. Okay, you have something else to add?
Just to make Hardpoint happy, you can keep talking, and I don't need to talk anymore. But over the next few seconds, I'm going to drop in some wallpapers for Hardpoint.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh, she looks great.
Sweet. Thanks,
And
Nate.
does she have like a snake tattoo on her chest? Yeah.
That's part of the lore. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that looks cool. I'm adding it
Yeah.
to my backdrops.
Yeah, these are lovely ladies that I would be happy to let kill me. Just like if you gotta die, it might as well die to them.
Oh, the Grum one is cool.
Yeah, dude, Grum. So
I love Grum.
Initially, I was pissed that Grum doesn't have chops, but then I'm like, aggroed. The name aggroed came from my time as a World of Warcraft orc warrior. So now I want to infuse like a little bit of sorcerer into that. But I think it's going to be like Grom's cousin is going to be the aggroed. I'm not going full wizard. I'm going like barbarian orc that happens to cast some magic. So I'm going that route next. So you're going to see my art for the next round of cards is going to be some gruesome fucking orc. Sorry for the language, but some mean bad boy orc. Okay. So now what I want to do, is find out what my order is. So we're going to go. So we're going to do Exambre. Is Lilyfire here? Are they on the call with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Okay, great. So we're going to go Exambre, Lilyfire, Chicklet, Soy Boy Roy, Alfred Lamb, and Weirdbeard. So I have 6 people to go introduce. I'd like to take maybe 3 to 5 minutes on each one of them just to give you guys a little sense of this. And Exambre, you're gonna be up first. Are you all ready to go here?
Yes, I am. If you can hear me, that is.
Yeah, I can hear you great. So why don't you give us a quick introduction of who you are, what you do, and I don't know, just how did you find us? Let's start there.
So I actually found you through a friend that played the game. And I mean, this has been a dream come true. I'm currently working as an executive admin right beside Hardpoint, and I work with Biz a lot and our wonderful support team as an admin, and I work with a lot of HR duties and helping with interorganizationals. It's been very exciting. I've had roughly 10 years of experience leading up to this, and it has been a dream to finally get to apply it in such a passionate company.
So tell me about that. What's we have like a company mission and we have company objectives, but what resonates for me and what resonates for other people can always be different. And so like what's the part that hits you? Like what is it that gets you excited to kind of like, I know that you're doing a lot of help with the support team. So then, what is it about working with support and the technology group, or what is it about the customers or the game, the people, the like what is it that is like that you feel like you're resonating with and that you're connecting with?
Love the goals, the come together to get to a common cause to help people and the community. And I get that a lot with support. Is it's always what can we do better? And that's the biggest goal that is always in my mind, is how can I assist them to get to that point? Gosh, I don't know how to explain it in words sometimes. I get so nervous on calls, but um, it's really working towards that goal to make everyone successful. And I think that you speak about that a lot in the town halls that I approach, is and it's something Katie and me always talk about, is the value that everyone brings to the table.
So how like what is one of the biggest problems that you think users are experiencing, and then what is one of the ways that support is addressing it, and how is that hitting kind of the piece that you feel passionate about? How like what's the part of that we're doing well and that you're proud of?
So I know one of the big accomplishments was Lily Fire, who's actually coming on. She took over KYC, and that has helped a lot of the know your user base to get authorization to use PayPal and other forms of payment into the game, which was backlogging a lot of tickets. A lot of other of it has been working directly with devs, and they're doing a great job getting on board with other tickets that were high value. I can't speak to like a lot of like the inside details, so I don't want to like say too much.
No, but I think some of what I've watched you do here is just help be the like the grease in the wheels to make sure that like this entire thing is actually functioning, and that we have the passionate people in support and the passionate people in dev, and the one set's trying to do their jobs directly interacting with the customers, one set's doing their jobs kind of like directly interfacing with the code. And then sometimes I see just how your work is literally being that like binding glue in between these two teams to help make sure that it's all actually working smoothly. So
Yes, but it's a lot.
yeah, I see it. I mean, I can see it working, and I can see it with the count coming down and the teams communicating, and it's great. So um, there's a lot of folks in this company that are doing individual things, and that we then have to kind of interconnect those groups and these people. And I see you doing it. And I just want to say thanks, and thanks for doing it passionately and with a good attitude. And excited to be here. Like all of that makes such a difference in terms of like how do we work with each other, and how do we have nice things not only individually but as a company and also as part of our community. So thanks for kind of passionately, doing the work to keep this whole thing running.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I wake up excited to come to work every day. I mean, it's a dream.
That's awesome.
I work with such great individuals.
That's the best thing I could hear. Just gave me chills. All right. Thank you, Xombre. Glad you're here. I'm going to go hop on. I'm going to hop on to Lily Fire. So Lily Fire, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you just got some praise from Exombre here. Do you want to give us a quick introduction? Tell us what you're doing, and
Sure.
give us just a little quick hello and how long you've been here and what you're up to.
Absolutely. So I'm Lily Fire. I started with the company towards the beginning of this past December, and I'm the current KYC specialist. KYC is Know Your Client or Customer. It has to do with the identity verification so that people can use PayPal to buy packs and whatever else it is. So other than that, I've been doing a lot of learning. There is a lot that goes into tech support here. We have a pretty wide variety of tickets that come in. So I've been doing a lot of learning about those and how to deal with them. And it's been really, really very interesting watching the game grow and interacting with customers. It's been a good time.
What do you think the hardest part of doing that is?
The hardest part of doing it, let's see. Well, I guess for me, for my personal life, it's kind of just finding the time to like sit down and do it. I have another part-time job and a few other things going on. So right now I'm only on maybe 10 to 12 hours a week. So I'm working on it, trying to make it fit into my life a little bit better, but the work itself comes pretty easy. We have a great support team. Like Biz is really, really helpful with answering my questions and helping me do a good job here.
And what is the challenge that the players run into? Is it a smooth process for them, or where do they get the hiccups that kind of like call you into it?
Gotcha. So, one of the biggest hiccups that I come across with the KYC process is when people don't enter in their names, like as it appears on the ID, because that causes an error. So, if your name is James and you type in Jimmy, it's going to reject you. So, that's a big one. Another thing is quality of selfies. Like sometimes I'll get a big glare on someone's forehead, and the software does not like that, so I have to go in and verify that, yes, you are the same person.
That's hilarious,
Yeah,
and frustrating too, I'm sure.
it is. Well, I mean, I don't take it too personally. It's a job, so I'm okay with it.
Okay. And then when you're doing this, like, how are you're mostly directly interfacing with the players? That's the like main part of your gig, you think?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I have to go through our on FIDO software to kind of look at what's going on. Oftentimes, I'll have to talk to the players to get some more information from them. Because the main purpose is to ensure that they don't have ill intentions, that they don't want to like scam and do these other negative things. So yeah, I kind of have to feel that out a little bit. But yeah, the software makes it pretty easy to see what the problems are, and then I just check with the customer and make it all good.
And do they handle that well? Like, are the customers kind and polite? Do we have a good culture within the community around how they treat us as the sort of dev team behind this? How does that work?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think everyone has been pretty polite with answering my questions, with giving me follow-up information. Everyone's been really kind and helpful. When I first started, there was quite a backlog of tickets. So, understandably, there was a little bit of frustration when I was first starting to clear through some of these older tickets. But I think I was able to smooth some of that over, and now people are mostly happy to be able to use PayPal. So,
Awesome. All right.
Jump
Hey, that
in
was
on that
good.
topic real quick,
Yeah, do it,
because
Matt.
so obviously, like getting fiat into crypto or NFTs is a huge issue, and it's really important for the mainstreaming of any type of crypto project. Splinterlands is no different. So, one, I want to, we're doing the best we can to have that process work, but also prevent the fraud and scams that we see. And we have, you know, tons of people who will either use stolen credit cards or fake PayPal accounts and just try to scam us in any way possible. So, it stinks, in my opinion, that we need to go through this whole process for everybody to have them be able to use PayPal to make purchases, but it's definitely necessary. And we're putting a lot of time and effort into making that work, whereas most projects will just be like, nope, you need to figure out how to get crypto, and you're on your own. But we are putting in, we have people like Lily Fire, on our payroll dedicated to just these things, because we realize the importance of that. And then on top of it, We also are hoping to work with a couple third-party services that will allow buying SPS and dark energy crystal tokens directly with fiat via credit card and bank transfers and things. And that type of stuff should be released pretty soon. I don't have the exact ETA, but so when you click the plus button next to SPS and dark energy crystals, there should soon be a fiat option there. I think it'll be non-US first, and then we're working to add US support in the future as well. But I think that's another area that'll really help us like get more mainstream users who don't have crypto into the game and into the assets more easily.
All right. Okay, so next up we got Chicklet, and then on deck is Soy Boy Roy. So Chicklet, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. So can you give us a quick introduction of who you are and what you do here and how you got started?
Sure. Hey y'all, I'm Chicklet, VP of Product Design. Our team takes a look at market opportunities, defines the problems, develops solutions, validates the solution with real users, and in this case, it's our players. How I got started, I mean, way back when, started out in graphic design as designing, moved up to art director. I eventually found my way into a tech company, which led me to product design and strategy. I think it was there that I really kind of fell in love with that, working cross teams, collaboratively on the strategy, the user experience. Really loved working with the developers and just digging in, solving problems, right? Giving the users the experience that they deserve.
So prior to this, you were working in fintech, and we kind of dragged you out of that into gaming. What's your experience of that been?
Coming here, it's awesome. I'm so glad I jumped ship, pun intended, if you get it. This has been fun. It's exciting. It's challenging at the same time, which I love. Keeps me on my toes. I don't know. Past few weeks that I've been here, I've learned so much. So yeah, it's so much better off here than at one of the stuffy corporate fintech jobs.
What was it? What is it that's challenging? Like, is it the gaming and the kind of like different layers of interactivity? Is it the crypto portion? Is it balancing it with fiat? Is it just new, or where does that challenge come from?
So for me, the combination of gaming and technology and crypto, it's very new, right? Like my history, I'm deep in user experience and building out products. So that this, we'll say, industry of gaming and crypto, like I said, is new to me. So that's wrapping my head around it. That's the challenge. I mean, I have a great team behind me. They're super supportive. I do a lot of my own research. So that's when I say it's challenging, that's what's challenging for me. But I love learning about this. It's been a lot of fun.
Is there what's like the flavor of design that you try to work with? I mean, if you have kind of like a central thesis or is it about a look or about the user experience, or like what's the story of the user that you try to tell or have in the back of your mind when you're putting together product design?
For me, it's what is that the user base, right? Who are we designing and strategizing this experience for? That's where that's the foundation in it, right? If we're building a product that is selfishly something that we want, right? And we're not considering all of the users' needs, their desires, what they want to come to us and they want to play a game. They want to have fun doing it. They want it to be frictionless. They want it to be easy, right? That's what matters. It's the user. That's what's going to keep them engaged and coming back, sharing with their friends and family. So for me, I mean, the look of things, it's very subjective, and that can also be determined by the users that we're designing a specific product for. So that's always kind of like that variable. That's the fun part. That's the creative part, right? Nate's team that and they get to interject that into what we're doing, which is also a really fantastic part of this too, is that we get to collaborate and work with them too.
So at the end, when you've done your work, when you've put this stuff together, like what is it that you want the people that are using the game and using the next tools that we're developing, like how do you think through what you want them to feel at the end of that? Is that part of that process, or like, you know, what do you not? So it sounds like you're designing around, accessibility and ease of use. At the end, what do you hope that they're saying about us after having, gone through the experience that you helped create and forge and
Right.
and like design?
Right. So the base of this is user-centered design, right? So my hopes is, for our players, our users to say like, I had fun. I have a few minutes. I can go play here. I can go play there. Um, Look, I'm engaging in the community. Like I'm finding people that like the same things that I like. And goes back to your point too about building community. So um, it's just for me, right? The user-centered experience. They're leaving and they're playing and they're leaving and they're feeling good about it. They had a good time.
Awesome. Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. I'm not quite ready to share all the cool stuff that we're doing, but I can tell you that Alicia's team was a giant piece of us working with a another giant project that I'm going to be coy and not quite mention yet, because we still have to go get some of this stuff and legal and approved and a little bit more developed, but we got some cool things coming, and I don't think I wouldn't be on that road and talking to legal and trying to get these announcements out if it wasn't for Alicia's team and helping us to get a little bit of product design and a nice way to sort of showcase what we're capable of here. So it's awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your work, and just looking forward to doing more with you.
If you want, Aggie, you want me to talk a little bit more about like what product design, or the bookshelf team we've been calling it, is kind of looks like, or do you think we have enough time to talk about this time?
Let's. Yes, I don't have a full strategy for that yet. So
Okay.
if you want to just give it at a high level, just
High
like
level.
super high level. What is the bookshelf team, and what is it, and but maybe not every detail, but just kind of what is it and what are we trying to do, and where does Alicia fit in?
Yeah, so the bookshelf team, and we started out with just by throwing a normal corporate title at product design, but we could call it a lot of different things, and we batted around them, and that would be product facilitation, product coordination, or but we've kind of landed on this own term that's really Splinterlands. It's bookshelf, and the bookshelf is this high concept of you have all these books and they all describe products that we could go off and build, or the ones that we already have, and those are ready to be gone through and collaborated on and moved through the pipeline. And so Alicia's team is really the facilitator of products. So they actually coordinate between all of the various stages of production, getting code and product live. They're the ones that are helped shepherding it through the process and making sure that, development is there, that creative is there, that tech support is there, that where economy design is there. And, it's a little bit of a mix of technical writing, it's a mix of UX, it's a mix of analysis, it's a mix of quantitative work. So there's a lot of pieces that go into that team to help them facilitate that through. Really excited because we're kind of poking at all those different angles, and we are slowly building up a team that's very comprehensive. And one of the most recent things is, on Alicia's team right now, we have John Homestead is on her team. He's a senior business analyst that's helping work on stuff. I just spoke with another gentleman named Chris, who's going to be joining the team on a trial basis, and he actually works in quantitative analysis. So we'll be looking at the economy, building models out to do analysis to try to make sure everything's working correctly. So I don't want to dive any more, but I'm just saying, so many cool things are by having this team in place. We're just going to be able to expand our capacity of building a really high quality product at the end of the day.
Yeah, and we have some work to go try to describe to everybody in the company and later everybody in the community what that looks like and how we're approaching it, and excited to have that dialogue. Let me go hop on. So Alicia, stoked you're here. Soy Boy Roy, you're up next, and then and Alfred, you're on deck. So Roy, do you want to go give us a quick introduction of who you are and what you do, and maybe how you heard about us or how you came to be here?
Hey all, I'm Roy. I'm a UX designer, and I think I started out with Nate about a month ago. And I've also been working with Alicia and Richard. And what I do and what my work focuses on is basically improving the player experience for the platform of Splinterlands. And this could go on in many different directions. So this could go on improving gameplay with a little bit tweaks. This could go on information hierarchy, how information flows to the web page, and basically trying to make the platform more accessible and easy to use for all the players. And I think the player community, you guys have been super helpful with that because you're super vocal, you're super active, and your suggestions and feedback truly help us to find the little snags that we wouldn't see from a high level perspective. So thank you so much for providing that player perspective. And I'm just super stoked to see where this project goes in the future, as in where Splinterland goes. And one thing which truly excites me about Splinterlands is currently the world building, which is super exciting to me because I was a big Riot Games fan and I love the way they built the universe, and I just see that the same thing happening here, and I'm just super stoked about it. And to give a bit about my background, I essentially started out in fintech, same as Alicia, but it was just, I realized midway that I do not want to be making Apple-esque buttons for the rest of my life. So I moved on to games because I had an artistic background. So I moved on to UI art, and I did a lot of traditional game development with Unity and Unreal. And at the same time, I was also learning about crypto, and I got into the NFT craze, and I was trying to learn about it. And but this is where I truly at the tipping point of going to gaming blockchain was that it sounds ridiculous when I say it now, but I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I used to play it for 4 years. And I built a massive Luna-like deck, which was a one-turn kill deck. And for some reason, it was a Steam server reset or something like that, and I just lost all of it in a day. And I think that was my villain origin story where I wanted to now. I was really championing for ownership of digital assets, and that is something which truly excites me about the platform of Splinterlands, that you can actually own the cards, and it's not like one turn you can just remove everything that a person has built up to. And yeah, I'm just super excited to learn from the leadership team and my creative team members and build out the platform.
If a player saw something that you worked on, would they see it? Would they click it? Would they feel it? Would it be a story? How would a player experience the work that you've done at Splinterlands?
So that's the sad part of being a UX designer, is that good design is where people don't notice it at all because it's just that easy to use. So what I think they would notice it in a way. So they would notice the fact that I have not done a good job earlier than I have done a good job. If I've done a good job, they would not notice it. But if I've not done a good job, they would definitely notice it. For example, if a page is too tough to navigate and it's filled with ridiculous scrolling mechanics, they would definitely notice and bring it to attention. But if the page is super smooth, they'll be like, yep, this is like a standard platform. And I think that's where I really like my job, is that making a platform so seamless that you don't even feel that disconnect even to bring it up in the community.
So, we've had a couple people talking about this, and I think hopefully it's something that we're hiring for, but also that people recognize. But just ease of use is really not only is it important in lots of applications, but because of the complexity of blockchain, I think it's the single defining thing that we need to be doing, and especially with the mission of the company to onboard new users. So, I either it seems like that's here, and that is a focus here, and I'm glad to hear that's a focus here because this stuff is really complicated, and but it's super important for us as like a civilization that we adopt this. So how do we make it as easy as humanly possible, as rewarding as humanly possible, from an emotional standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint? That's all just freaking critical. So thank you for keeping that high on your priority list of needs and wants that the players are going to have. Is let's make this easy and let's help them get through this without endless scrolling and endless whatever.
Yep, totally. And I think it's because the player base is so unique. We have people who are trying to get in, and we have people who are masters of the field. So finding a balance between the two is the toughest thing that we're attempting to undertake.
Yeah, I walked away with the impression that what you do, it's a total pain in the butt, and it feels backwards. But if you design the software to be usable by both the hardcore user base, master level user, and also figure out how to make it so that the entry level player can participate, that's the magic. That's the sweet spot of like the hardcores are fulfilled and the users and the noobs are not confused. That is the like penultimate challenge of this. So I'm thrilled to hear you talking about that. So all right, I'm going to keep moving on. Thank you, Roy. Glad you're here. Thanks for working with us, and hopefully you won't be hearing a million bits of flame from the players as you scrolled too much or too little on the wrong parts or right parts of the page.
Of course. Thank you.
Yep. So I got Alfred Lamb, and on deck is Weird Beard. So Alfred, do you want to go? Welcome to the team. Do you want to go tell us what you're doing and how you found us and a little bit of background?
Yeah. So I'm the marketing graphic designer. I've been here for a whopping 2 days, and you might be seeing some of my work on like social media platforms like Facebook and soon to be others. So I have a background in fighting games, and I used to design like banners and stuff for Smash, and more recently Tekken. I used to play both those games competitively, so I was really into like the tournament scene, and I loved it.
Jin Kazama is a beast. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I love the Mishimas. They're all good. Yeah, I'm excited to be part of the like growing the Splinterlands scene through my work. I see a lot of passionate people in the Discord right now, and just really excited to work with them.
So when the players experience your work, what do you think that they're going to see, or like how would a player experience what you've done here?
Probably be in the form of ads. So they'd either like click on it or look at it and be like, "Dang, that's awesome," and then keep scrolling or something.
So what do you have a flavor or a vision or a like what when you're working on this and designing this, what do you value or what do you pay the most attention to? Is it marketing driven and clicks, or is it like powerful graphics and dynamic image, or what do you value in the work and the performance of what you're doing?
I think I tend to just lean towards making something that looks really good first, and then the clicks will come naturally through like people looking at the work and thinking it's awesome.
And do you tend to do this with like a straight face, a smirk, or like what's the flavor of the work that you think we'll see? Is it I just always want to be snarky, but like, this stuff comes in a million different flavors. Is there like a flavor or tone or something that you like to set in this? Is it straight? Is it sarcastic? Is it graphic novel? Is it like what? How do you see bringing your story and your vision to life in this?
I think the mood will definitely depend on the project, but I still have to like feel it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's
day
like
two.
yeah, but I do have kind of like a vision for how to evolve the marketing campaigns.
And into what? How do you into what do you see that
Um,
looking like?
it's like how Riot Games kind of like developed their style into something like really modern and cool, but also related to fantasy. And I think that's something I'd like to do for this company as well.
So my hope with a lot of the like lore and the creative stuff is that the players fall in love with the characters. Like when I the two things that I really focus on in my gig is bringing in new customers and helping to retain them. And when I think about retaining them, I've been putting people in, but I really ought to put lore into this too. Of the there's lots of ways to make money, so that can be sticky, but it's not always sticky. There's lots of games out there, so this is fun and it can be sticky, but it's not always sticky. But there's only like one Matt Clark in the world, and he plays Splinterlands. So you're like your partners and your friends are you have to like find them here because you can't get that community anywhere else. And then secondly, I really think the lore fits into that same category. That when you don't find the spirit of the forest somewhere else, that card is in our game. Oceanus, he's not anywhere else. If you love that gin, that's your only choice. It's here. So I think if we can get players to fall in love with these characters, it's harder to leave them. Like the Optimus Prime is what I grew up with. I can't ever I'll never stop loving the Transformers for that. So it's like, how do we get our characters to be loved deeply by our player base, and our villains to be hated in all the right ways? And I think
Right.
if you can tell that story and get that out there in the day-to-day ways that we communicate as a business, I think that'll really lead to sticky adoptions, because the players are going to know the characters and love them or hate them, and grow with them and grow with us. And I think it'll be hard to leave that lore and that storyline that if we weave it well, they'll just love it.
Yeah, for sure. It's like in Yu-Gi-Oh, when like Yugi has his signature card and he's just really attached to Dark Magician, and I can see people being really attached to like gold foils they pull, and um, and hopefully I can make art that people can relate to as well through that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Good luck as you get started. Glad you're working here. I know it's going to be a big deal for the marketing team. And we're going to run a little bit late. Sorry, guys, for the first hour. But next up, we got Weird Beard. So, Weird Beard, do you want to go tell us, who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your background and how you found us?
Yeah, so what up, everybody? Hello, especially Twitch chat who were saying they were being ignored earlier. I've been in there all day. My name's Weird Beard, real name Rick. I have 10 years of experience in radio and television background. I do lots of video gaming stuff, and I'm here to handle esports, which is a really broad term, but in this context, it's talking more about the tournaments and the competition of this game. My biggest thing of coming in here is hoping to be a part of the community. Like competitions only work when people want to compete with other people here already. So we really got to work hard to make sure that the community is being listened to and doing what's best for the game overall here.
So we have tournaments already.
Yeah.
How does our tournaments that exist now differ from being like a real esport? I don't feel like it's an esport now. It sort of is, but it doesn't have that same what the French call an I don't know what. There's a little bit of work here that we got to do to kind of elevate it up to that. what are we missing? How do we get there? And how do we create that sort of like that magic of, everybody streaming all over the world all the time and promoting this game nonstop 24/7 to every single friend with like a crazy evangelical passion?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of a two-pronged problem that we're dealing with here. Not a problem, but like, as you said, we're looking for the je ne sais quoi of what we're trying to do. One of the big things about esports that people don't really understand or necessarily contextualize at the beginning is that esports is half competition, half education. And the education part is really going to be powerful here moving forward for the company and for the community. Because listen, if regular people just come in and they start playing, they've been playing for a week, and then they watch high level competition, they have no idea what's happening. That's not esports, right? Like if you look at some of the more established esports scenes like Counter-Strike or League of Legends, right? People who are noobs who have only played for a month can still watch pro play and be like, I kind of understand what they're doing. They're just doing it much better than I am. So that education components could be really, really like a necessary foundational piece that we have to lay down of when these gamers first come in and they first want to start, like playing the game. We want them to see tournaments as like, oh, wow, these people are just better at what I wish I could do. And then the other part I think as well is the actual competition side, right? Is people have to be fired up to do this. We can't just put out tournaments and hope that they go, oh yeah, that's cool. It's a tournament. It needs to be something that once you play it, you go, got it. I know exactly why people do this. And it's really trying to get more people to experience that kind of like competitive high. It's like in a first person shooter where you win your first like Warzone game and you're just like shaking and you're like, oh my God, you're chasing that dragon for the rest of the 70 hours you get murked, no matter when you're playing. And so that kind of like feeling is what we need to be bringing to tournaments and to the just competition in general here.
So what do you think we do to do that? What's the missing ingredient, or what's your priority list for us getting there?
Priority list first is trying to make tournaments more accessible to more people. As of right now, from just, again, I started on Monday, so this is all with a, a grain of salt on my analysis here. But, you see a lot of people talking about, hey, I've been in for a little bit. I may not be a top 5% player. I feel like I'm still gated out from certain communities or from certain tournaments and competitions. I think making the hump that people have to get over to compete either easier or more understandable is going to be really strong. I think, again, it's bridging that gap between the people who, because there's like three different players, right? Like there's people who have invested a lot and really want to play, like, because they have all of the cards from top to bottom. Then you have that mushy middle ground of people who are like, hey, I've invested, I have cards, I'm not in all the way, but I still play and everything like that. I don't know where my place is. And then you have those like people who are just playing to play, right? Like if they make some money, they make some money. If they don't, they don't. And that's fine. But like trying to figure out the place in the world, because as of right now, we have like one tournament rule set that runs for everything, and being able to put those different players into different buckets is going to be important, because it's like sometimes I just have been playing for a month. I really don't want to go against these people that have been playing for 12 years and will just, stomp me into the ground.
The other piece I'd add to this is the social aspect. How do we turn them? I don't mean this to be heretical. But my thought is, how do we turn them into the gods within this community? How do we make the absolute best players at all the different ranks and levels, just like the heroes of the realm? Like, how do we build them into the lore? How do we build them into the characters? How do we build them into our story? How do we promote them in our Discord? How do we share their ass-kicking, devastation, the lamentations of the women that they've caused? Like, how do you do the whole thing so that these guys are just like heralded as the best badasses of our community?
Yeah.
And that is part of what I'd put onto your plate and Chatter's plate and the marketing team of how do we not only have this competition, but how do we elevate them socially into the highest ranks we know how to produce?
Yeah, I would say that the easiest way is my mantra is that I don't do anything half-ass. I will do it whole ass every time. And that is what we're going to do because it's like I think it goes hand in hand because like again, I come from a content background. Doing radio and TV for 10 years, it's really hard to separate like, making content and trying to build that social profile. It's all one and the same. I think really the biggest thing here is talking to the community, understanding who our brand evangelists are that are going to promote for us and making them feel heard, because the more you're heard, the more you want to put back in. And I think like esports as an engine is just going to be what really pushes everybody here, because you want to be involved in the team and be part of the dream team, which is what we have together here. And we're going to make it happen. That's all I know.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, welcome, Weirbeard. It sounds like that's going. That your words are resonating with the community, and I'm excited to have you here.
Okay, I love everybody.
All right, awesome. I think our wizards are dropping. Am I losing Hardpoint and Matt? Do you guys have any final wizard words you'd like to share before you hop out of here?
Any wizard words, Hardpoint?
Guys, I'm excited to be here. I'm super stoked for the team that's growing here, and just seeing all these new hires get in is just freaking amazing. And just the amount of talent coming in is, I'm starstruck, honestly. Just so many intelligent, bright, passionate people coming in here. Guys, it's going to be so amazing in 22.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit of the belle of the ball, right? We tell people, hey, we're a nice business, a profitable business. We care about other humans, and by the way, you get to work in crypto, blockchain, gaming, and NFTs. Would you like to be here? And most people that get that opportunity say, oh, hell yes, quit whatever they've been doing for the last 10 years, show up and are like, ready for duty. It's awesome. Like our hit rate on the people that we want to hire joining our team has got to be like, I don't know, 85, 90%. It's pretty high up there. And there's not a lot of tech companies that can say that, because we're gleefully draining talent from others for them to come here. So, all right, guys.
We'll see you, Aggie.
Sounds good.
I want to echo the same thing. And just for people who are, I know markets aren't doing great and whatever, and obviously we can't control any of that. But all we're doing is just trying to build a super awesome experience. And I don't know. So I look at it like you take everything that we have now. There's like some 90 plus people on the team versus less than a year ago where there was like 15. And it's going to take time, but just like all of this momentum of everything that's happened over the past year is just literally being put right back into making this product 100 times better. And so that's going to take time. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen tomorrow or even next month or possibly even next quarter, but I'm hoping like toward the latter half of this year, all this investment, and as you see like Chaos Legion sales and everything and all this stuff, all that is taken and being reinvested back into the business in as smart and efficient a way as we can possibly do. So we're just taking all of this good stuff that's happened over the last 6 to 12 months, we're putting it all into the business and saying, how can we just make it amazing from every different possible angle that we can think of? And we always have a longer term time frame. So we hope that once that all comes to fruition, everything else will just be pulled up along with it. So that's, and I think the people who have stuck with us for a number of years have seen this same cycle play out. Things were difficult at times in, 2019 and 2020. There were definitely times where we weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it or, keep being able to pay people, even the small number of people we had on board. And I think the people who stuck with it through those times, there's some people who bailed and there's some people who stuck with it. And those who stuck with it, are typically pretty happy they did. Those who bailed, I've heard a lot of regret from. I can't guarantee anything. Or I don't mean to make Agro crazy laugh, but I'm just saying like now we're putting way more resources into this for building for the future. So to me, I see the same type of situation hopefully playing out over the next few years as kind of happened over the last few years.
Anytime somebody quits either the game or the company, I just want to like point and laugh. Like, you fools, you don't even know what you're going to miss out on. I mean, I've been here for enough time that I've seen people. My favorite is like the guy that leaves in a huff and then comes back and they're like, I bought back in for the same deck and it cost me twice as much. And now I'm here. I get it, guys. I'm sorry. It's like, you learned your lesson in so many ways. It's great. Okay. What's up next? All right, so we're gonna say goodbye to our heroic wizards, and we're gonna go hop into the next set of questions that we got prepared. Thank you, Liberty Labs, for helping to put these together. These are not the brand new open to everybody question time. These are the questions that have been gathered for the past little bit here. Thank God, this is great. There's really only 2 pages of questions, which is good because I'm running late on this set. So we're going to answer these questions, and then we're going to go hop into just general, anybody can ask whatever they want. And just remember, please, in all of this, that it is meant to stay PG-13 to the best of our ability. And, let's make sure that the content that we put into chat is appropriate. And if you guys have it, like, there's plenty of reasons why you might not like something that I do or this group does. Let's just try to make sure that your commentary is professional. Okay, so leadership opinion questions. Are you concerned that players would just do their daily quest in the format they do not normally play in, i.e. a player that plays in Modern and Gold 1 could just do its daily quest in Novice and Wild format, beating starting players, and then collect the Gold 1 daily rewards for it? To me, this really takes the incentive away to build a broad collection that could finish all kinds of daily quests. If you cannot do it, you just switch to easy mode in the other format, but get the same rewards. I don't think that the reward system is being built that way. So there you go. I think it's going to be a little bit different. And so before it's completed, I don't want to answer this is how it'll work. But you're bringing up a design concern, and that design concern is certainly there. Do you think Splinterlands needs to push harder the fact that this is 3+ year live project when other crypto games are mostly all white papers and future promises? Well, I mean, I think that's what we're doing, that we are, bringing people on board, growing this business. We are making sustainable money. I mean, you guys can talk about other projects, but like what I see for most other projects is that they spike right up and they spike right down. And it's like, okay, well, to have something that actually has some staying power in here that isn't just wash trading, that isn't just like fake users, is actually pretty hard. And I feel like, we've been a nice job of grinding it out, pushing it forward. And there's, to me, there's some big partnerships and projects that are in the wings that I think I'm getting pretty close to talking about here that hopefully help change that game even more for us. This one appears to be for chatter. Given the types of comments seen in the David Pakman interview, in retrospect, was this a good idea, use of time and money? How do you believe that we can best address the skepticism around NFT gaming? Do you want to talk about that little thing? And then I knew the second that I said yes to that we were going to go stir the pot. But tell me about it and give us your thoughts on it.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, kind of with everything that we do with branching to mainstream media, we're always going to be met with some criticism and some naysayers and everything. I mean, you look at kind of Twitter yesterday and the amount of posts that I saw of, oh, hey, I'm going to dump all my Twitter stocks because you're now allowing NFT profile pictures and all that other stuff. Like, we're not targeting all those naysayers. We're targeting the 20% of people who are open-minded to NFT and trying to bring them on board and use those as that kind of initial bridge of branching into the mainstream there. As far as really building brand recognition and addressing skepticism, I think it really just kind of goes to what that previous question was saying of we are a 3-year project and we need to make sure that we're providing adequate information to everyone to show that this isn't just some kind of roundabout scheme or something to just make a quick buck here. We're in here to really help change people's lives. And so the more communication we can get around that, the better. And I think how that starts is us really going after a lot of kind of the big name partnerships in chats, which we're doing right now. I can't name names. Unit QM, I know you had asked a question about that. There are some coming down the pipeline, so just kind of keep a lookout for those. But we're working with those big name partners. We're looking at kind of advertising on more big box agencies there. So as I said, kind of YouTube, Facebook, so on and so forth will help kind of get the name out there and on a more trusted platform. But realistically, it's really how do we build this brand recognition with very stable brands already. And then as far as kind of the investment side of that piece is as long as we're building lists from those people that are coming in and then able to kind of have that multi-touch retargeting on them and make sure that they're seeing Splinterlands multiple times. I think that it's going to be a good use of investment. I know kind of when you're looking at like peak monsters or anything there, you're not necessarily seeing a huge uptick in public purchases, but we're starting to see an uptick in signups, which is kind of the first step there. So as we start getting more and more signups in, we're going to keep trying to pressure those people into kind of getting the spell book and really kind of finding value in the game. So again, once that happens, it'll be a big kind of long-winded system, but hopefully that'll all work out for us.
All right. Requests. Is there a way you can allow the guilds to use their own logo instead of the default ones, just to make it more personalized? That should go to feedback.splinterlands.com. But there is some nervousness around that, around like, I don't want giant penises being used as your guild logo. So I don't quite know what to do with that. There are others, imagery that might be offensive and purposely offensive to others. So I get it's a little bit weird. I don't quite know how we would do, but if that's something that the guilds really want, they should be able to go put that onto feedback.splinterlands.com. Could we possibly witness the minting of one of the cards, like videoing the process so people can understand what goes into it? I don't know what you mean by minting of one of the cards. I mean, like the cards get put into like the process of creating. So maybe what we can do is get the artists and we've done this a couple times, is sort of like the sketch stuff that we start with, and then the more detailed pieces. Maybe we can get a post out of creative around how the art kind of comes into existence. That would be a good project for somebody to sort of take on there. Can we have eye candy on the next airdrop? We actually already did that. So, and this guy says, I think we'll reach 7 million packs sold in a couple days. And I totally agree with this. So hopefully, actually, that's actually good. We should be in front of the next airdrop. And that's why we had those two. Did we do one or did we do two new airdrops today? Was it two?
Yeah, two of them. Yeah, we did Neutral and Dragon.
Yeah, so we got to get Matt to hook those up with some of the stats too. But yeah, we're honestly just a couple days away, so we should pop that in. All right, suggestions. So I suggest having the website landing page feature an interactive live demo of the game as the first thing you see. You are asked to choose one of 3 cards, and then it starts a battle with that card and shows the earnings after victory. This will instantly demonstrate that the game is playable now, with a call to action to actually try it at the moment you land on the site. I don't know, Nate, Alicia, what do you guys think about that?
I think one aspect of the homepage could, if not provide that experience directly on the homepage, at least seamlessly and easily lead to that experience. We're actually in the midst of slowly evaluating the UX of the homepage and figuring out best ways to optimize it. I know that we've had internal discussions with marketing in terms of, well, what can we do with the homepage to kind of better communicate stuff that is going on, so that people who don't follow Discord or the blog are still aware of the upcoming collaborations, partnerships, promotions, and events and things of that nature. And then we come across like, well, okay, how many people who are playing the game look at the homepage? They probably skip the homepage. They don't even look at the homepage. So who's looking at the homepage? So it's primarily probably brand new users, in which case, yeah, the poster of this question has the right mindset in that, okay, what can we do to tailor the homepage experience so that brand new people are aware that yes, we've been around, yes, we have a working product, and yes, it's lots of fun. Of course, we don't want to ignore all the other cool stuff on the homepage. There's, so we'll figure that out. But that's a good idea. I'm open to that.
Okay. Seeing how the artwork has evolved from the Alpha Edition up to the Chaos Legion, can the next best thing for this game be to make battles 3D, like the Final Fantasy battles? I understand that this requires a lot of work and probably more graphic designers, etc., but it would attract a whole new kind of gamers. Nate, what do you think about 3D gamers or 3D battles?
So let's okay. So with 3D in general, like we've talked about this in the past lots of times. It's like 2D, 2.5D, 3D, VR, augmented reality, the whole like what is in our crosshairs? What do we want to do next? How do we want to evolve the game? I would say that 3D is not out of the question, but the things you guys got to keep in mind. And first of all, if we did 3D, it probably wouldn't be hyper realistic 3D. I'd want it to be very stylized, very like a cell shaded look. And I'm actually in discussions with lots of different people and partners and looking at different ways we would tackle that kind of gameplay, utilizing some sort of 3D technology. But the thing you have to keep in mind is, let's say we did that. Let's say we went full blown 3D. We're talking about alternative platforms. We're talking about console gaming or downloading a client to your Mac or PC, installing software, and trying to run the game through those things. Because when you're talking 3D, I mean, even if we went with Unity and Unreal and WebGL and all kinds of these different technologies, you guys got to understand it's not going to be the same as the gameplay that we have right now. And the gameplay right now is extremely accessible. It's accessible to anyone who has a web browser. And we really don't want to lose that. Now, I could see in the future we expand beyond a web browser experience so that you could play Splinterlands not just through a website, but also through these other methods. And in which case, you can then appreciate and experience that kind of advanced, cool visual gameplay. And I'm not opposed to that. I don't think anyone is. I think we're excited to explore those options. But what can we do with a web browser experience? I mean, we don't want to tell people tomorrow that, hey, suddenly you need an advanced supercomputer with high specs or some device that's the latest and greatest on the market that's going to cost you $1,000 or more. We don't want to tell people that. We want to tell people, hey, you could always play Splinterlands, even utilizing whatever device you have. You just need a browser. We don't want to lose that. So having said all that, we are exploring, I would say, all the different ways that we can elevate the production value of gameplay. And that includes gameplay on the web browser. And you guys have seen the 2.5D animations that we could easily, hopefully someday soon, integrate in a Battles 2.0. But don't worry, we're also exploring the other stuff. I can't speak to how soon that other stuff will happen or what other platforms or any of that stuff. But just know that as we're hiring, as we're making partnerships, as we're exploring all the technology solutions, that nothing is off the table. We're looking at everything. So I don't know if that adequately answers the question.
I'm not sure that there is one particular answer. I mean, it's just like it's always like you said. There's like what do we want to get done? What's our target? Where do we want to land? Some of this is technology based. What can we actually produce? Some of it is visually based, and some of it is what are the highest. Some of this is like what is the highest and best need of this company and this community. Okay. Next up. So I have land questions. If I own an entire region and the castle is the marketplace, who's buying and selling, or does my ownership of the entire region just save me from having to pay trading fees? So that's a little bit more specific than what we've put out there. So I don't want to. I'm actually going to punt on this one. We are working on getting more clarity around the sort of economics of land and how we want to design land. So, but that's not ready to share. So I don't think I'm in a good spot to answer that. But we want to make it as attractive as possible for castle owners and keep owners to participate in the economy and have that benefit. All the people that are in those territories. Will we be able to get more totems for lands? So there is going to be some totems that can be mined out of the ground. So yes, there will be more totems, but they are certainly going to be scarce and limited. Card questions. Can you tell us the rarity of the 7th and the 8th Chaos Legion airdrop? I believe that those as well are going to be legendary cards, as per Matt's previous comments around because of legendary potions. We want to have more legendaries to make it more challenging, to make sure that getting every legendary maxed is really as hard as it ought to be. So more legendary airdrops coming your way. There was a promise to buff Jin Renova. Not even rare new cards from Chaos Legion have the same stats on 2 levels. When will this happen? Oh yeah, so we gotta. That's not really like a buff. We try not to buff cards. That's like an oversight. So I'll make sure that getting another small stat increase for Renova happens. And then comments, Splinterlands is the most complicated game economy I've ever seen. Jin Renova and Barking Spider are in progress. If you look at feedback site, that item says in progress. So yeah, those things that's not. We're like really trying hard not to buff characters or nerf characters after we release them, and it's really not unless they're like completely breaking the freaking game at certain levels. I actually have a mild concern around Pellicor Mercenary in Bronze. His win rate is like an 80% there. So we might have to do something about that. The thing is that card is kind of a beast in Bronze. So I don't know. We look at these things and we really do our best to not mess with stuff. Okay. So next up, I think we're just at the complete general questions. So we're back to, you guys can ask whatever you want. We got about 30 minutes here, and we'll just kind of like plow through these. So ask away, keep it professional, and we'll go bang these out. Starting with I'm hearing feedback, but starting with Gank's question. The biggest SBS tournament every week, we have only 40 entries out of about 400,000 active accounts, which is about 0.01% of the entire universe. Currently, 2 complete fully maxed sets of Chaos Legion Gold Foil cards does not give you enough collection power to qualify for the biggest Modern League Gold Foil tournaments. How do you plan to evolve SBS tournaments with CP requirements so that new players with full Chaos Legion decks will be able to play and compete in the highest level tournaments? So, and then there's a bunch of emojis. I think we got to go look at that. And I have more tournaments to go make over the next 2 weeks. I haven't even had time to pop back into this because the current set are running. But it's on my list to sort of like check in with Biz, who is hopefully kind of clued into the community and the community feedback from the tournament planning section, and we can try to make that better. I'm not.
Hey, jumping in here quickly. Sorry, Rick's going to be helping take a whole bunch of those comments down and make a proposal in the next few days. So myself, Rick, and Hardpoint are all on it right now. We've been monitoring that chat, and he'll be helping lead that through in the next couple bit.
Yeah, I actually feel really good about putting that on him. So, hey, take that baby off my plate, and I will pass the buck there. That I feel quite comfortable and confident in him. So let's give that a shot and take it off my plate, put it on his, and there'll be some weird transition around it, but we'll try to figure that out. So I guess my short answer to your question is I don't have the right answer. and I'm not saying, nor have I ever said, this is the right and perfect answer. I kind of look at that as holding the line until the governance pieces are ready, and then putting that back to the community to be like, you guys figure it out, use your stake, use your vote. Here are the limitations of the reward pool that's set by the white paper, but as long as you guys fall within that, let's try to make this thing work. All right, Isaac here is asking, can we please get a sit and go tourney queues where you pay an entry fee and play an 8-man single elimination fight separated by bronze, silver, gold, diamond levels? I just think we need game modes other than ranked and guild brawls. I just love to play, but it feels like there's very reason to keep playing after completing my daily quest, and feels like if we had sit and goes that we could keep joining the queue that would have had higher engagement, even if there was something like a 50 DEC per person and paid out that 400 DEC to the 1, 2, 3 finishers. I think it would be huge and not require more payout from the game. I've seen a number of questions and comments like this, and I haven't seen it like really drastically take off. For the players that want to host and organize those, we'll go either whitelist you or cover the cost of those kind of tournament creations, so you guys can play around and experiment with it. So happy to see that work. I haven't seen it make a big deal, but that doesn't mean it won't in the future either, because we've grown or that we finally have the right people to do it. So if that's something that you're really looking to take on, I guess get in touch with maybe Biz or Weirdbeard, and we can start talking about how, general tournament creation, formatting, and whatnot can get going.
I definitely like the idea. I think that the only way it's going to take off with any a tremendous amount of success is we'd have to evaluate the UX of the screen that most players are looking at, so they're aware of the queue that hey, there's 3 spots left, join now, and they're seeing it right there from the rank play screen. So, but it's a little involved because we got to take into considerations the short-term updates to the game, particularly when land is released and crafting and all the other stuff. So we just have to make sure we don't clutter things up too much. But I think it's a cool idea.
Prince Akashi is asking, apart from the current feature of getting bonus pack and for the upcoming Rift Watcher, what are the next plan for vouchers? I would suggest that we can use vouchers to buy Gladius packs or able to convert it to Quest Potion or even upgrade buildings for guilds. So, yep, we definitely want to see vouchers integrated into basically everything that we're putting out there. Let's see, the Modern versus Wild format is next, which I don't think will have a lot of new products for sale. So I think it's still going to be a couple months before you see a lot of new things for vouchers. But vouchers are going to come back with Rift Watchers. That's probably in the next, I would imagine in the next 6 months, probably 3 to 6. So that'll be a big draw for them. But then also some of the promotions that we do, there are a couple of these. There are a handful of promo things that we're working on, and I imagine that we'll find ways to get vouchers into those as well. Question: if I organize the creation of a high-quality artwork for a set of skins for Chaos Legion cards, would you consider implementing them? How hard would this be to implement? I would certainly consider it. I guess maybe that would take some coordination with Nate. The skins have not been the highest priority thing, and I think they need a little bit more utility, or not just being part of the airdrop, but integrated into the game to get more traction. So I'd be open to it. I don't see it as the super highest priority, but that's something that I'm personally open to.
I would say that the players and the team members, I think everyone wants to see something happen with skins because people like skins. And unfortunately, I think I've usually been the guy with the stop sign, just because I know that with land coming up, there are certain UX things to consider. Part of which is we are planning to introduce another phase to battles. So, you're going to choose your team and you're going to throw it out there. And right now, you can make those characters look any way you want. Well, it doesn't really matter because it's just, autoplay. If you want to watch the battle unfold and you watch it unfold, it's just one team has different looking characters than you typically would see. But with phase 2, it becomes that much more important that when you're applying spells and items in phase 2 of the gameplay, that you can immediately, you're going to have a timer. You're going to see the seconds ticking down. You're going to be all nervous, like, oh man, what do I put for spells and items? And if you don't recognize any of the characters on the screen because they're all skinned up and we got a million skins in the game, then that could potentially cause some UX issues. And then there's also the trouble with, well, if you're going to put extra skins in the game, what about animations? Here we're trying to work towards Battles 2.0. How do we make all those animated? So it's not just about throwing fan art and saying, oh, that looks cool. It's like, okay, don't you want that animated along with all the other characters? And don't you want players to be able to quickly analyze the battlefield and know what to do next? So there are some UX things we're working out. Not to say that we won't have skins and not to say that we don't want skins. It's just that there's a few little things that we got to kind of work out in order to make sure that it's and also there's you want a seamless, stylized, artistic, cohesive vision for the game as a whole. We don't really want it to come across as a patchwork of different art styles. I mean, going forward, we want to try to raise the production value to the point where everything has that same look and feel, possibly, hopefully. So, but once we overcome those hurdles, then most definitely I see us applying skins. It'd be silly not to apply skins in some degree or another. So we don't want to ignore that. We just got to formulate a strong game plan, that strategy that makes sense for skins.
Ron wants to have some talk about Digicon 7, which is coming up this weekend. I want to get that in, but I need somebody to go talk to it. So if you can tell me when we get down to it who the speaker for that will be, that'll be great. Dolomite is asking, what's that?
So I can speak to it a little bit if you want.
Good, go for it, Liam.
Awesome. Yeah, so going to be this weekend up until the 23rd, I believe, is when it's running, but should be really cool. We're organizing some like red carpets and like boards you can take photos of and everything. There's going to be some giveaways, both spellbooks, packs, and some other goodies there. So yeah, just make sure you come join. I'll get Waffles Kitty to post a little bit more unofficial updates later too about it.
Yep. I think I just lost my spot. Question, thoughts about adding a pity to the airdrop gold cards route, getting close to 20,000 packs and not getting gold foils? Yeah, I don't know how we do that. We can't do it for Chaos Legion. We really don't want to change things like midstream like this, unless there's an uproar. I mean, if all the players are clearly in favor of it, we can do stuff. But we try not to add things after we put out a white paper. So maybe when we get the white paper out for Rift Watchers, we can have things like minimum. I hear what you're saying. It's sort of like a minimum chance to get a gold foil. So it should be something like it's going to be high, but it would be like for every 3,500 or I don't even know what the numbers are, but for some absurd amount of packs bought, you are at least guaranteed one. And I'm in favor of that. I think RNG is great, but like if you really get like screwed, players get mad, and it's fair that they get mad. It's fair that it happened, but it's fair that they get mad. So trying to cut off like the very low end of that, I think, is in everybody's best interest. When will there be Chaos Legion phrase? I don't know, but putting that on Weirdbeard and having not only tournament creation, but also guild battle phrase and structure be under his guidance. I think that should all be under Weirdbeard. So let's see how that works out, and just give him a little slack because he's new, so it's going to take a bit. How about quick draft tournaments where players need to pick cards from a roster? That would give equal chance for everyone. That is another game mode, and I do think that game mode is cool. I don't know. I think we'll eventually get to it. It's not the next highest priority, but if that's something that you guys really want, then put it into feedback.splinterlands.com. And if you guys vote it up, then that'll be the thing that we work on. That doesn't seem like the next like major driver of value or like what's going to take the game and elevate it. But I do think it's cool. And if you guys think I'm wrong, then go upvote it. And who cares what I'll say? You'll go do that. Question: in the future, are there plans on adding a beginner quest line where we could implement the lore and expose a new player to the lore and mechanics of the game? I'm in favor of this. I think we're still a little bit backlogged on Modern and Wild and Land before I want to go put that into the next sort of like major component. But I see that as like the single player mode, which we've never really had, and I'd love to have a single player mode for this game where you can kind of like go through your, maybe not a quest, or maybe it is something that's repeatable, but I would love to see a single player mode.
Definitely. I am totally on board with what Agrod is saying. I think that it's something that we all want internally, is to revamp our current tutorial and turn it into the beginnings of a much more immersive experience. So instead of just, going step by step through the tutorial we have now, it would be cool to do what Agrod's saying, is the prequel to the main campaign or story mode that we introduced into the game, where you got hours and hours of cool questing and game mode, and the whole beginning part of that is just kind of little by little being introduced to game mechanics and aspects of the game in a very immersive, fun, engaging manner. So yeah, totally.
Can you give us a status update on trophy feeding? So I think that's falling into a bigger category of discussion around like how ranked battles and all of that is working. And currently, that's something that Hardpoint is taking on as his baby. So I don't want to speak for him. I'm not even fully updated on where that's at, but that's mostly Matt and Hardpoint. So let's wait until they get back next week and they're here. And I'll try to, we should put that into the next set of questions high at the top to make sure that they see that one. Can we get a daily Chaos Pack sold tracker? Yeah, that would be awesome. It would be nice to see the daily movement without tracking it. If that's a pretty quick fix, Nate, that would be high on my like personal priority list to be able to go see that. And another option, I've been thinking about this with the bot. I should probably go ask Daniel to go put that in for like packs sold as a command, so that people can see the number of packs. But does that make sense to you, Nate? That seems like a pretty easy one to me.
Yeah, just to put what are we talking about? A tracker?
Yeah, just like how many packs were sold yesterday somewhere.
Oh, I gotcha. So, I mean, I think on the shop page we have how many till the next airdrop? We have how many are left. So we would add another one that says how many were sold like in the last 24 hours. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. Even if it's just like a little bit of text somewhere on there, or honestly, I'm pretty good with it being a Discord bot command. But we gotta make that easier for folks to figure out. But I do think that whatever we can should live on the site somewhere, because that seems like a pretty important number. All right, question. Which is the pull rate % for legendary, including alchemy and legendary potions? That's a better one for Matt. It's like 1.6%, I think. Anybody want to concur or disagree? I don't know. Players will answer that down low. Somebody will know that better than me. Yeah, I'll take questions for like another 5 minutes, and then we'll cap it. Hello, guys. Do you have any updates on the results of community survey regarding the quantity of packs sold in the first 24 hours. Oh yeah. We got to go get the that out. I think it was 2.2 million, and I think they're still looking for who was the winner out of those. But yeah, we did 2.2 million packs in the first. I guess it was 24 hours. Maybe it was the 26, but it was pretty quick. Will there be an SBS burning mechanism in the future? We're looking at it. We do definitely like staking too, but we are looking at burning mechanisms. Again, it's not going to be right up next, because the next big one is the modern versus wild format, and that's like another game mode as opposed to like new products. So it's going to take us a couple months before we get like new product stuff in here, but we're working on it. Questions: are users implementing the Splinter Tools extension considered cheating, and or what is your take on the use of such? No, I mean that's all publicly available data. So, if they were pulling data that was somehow like illegally gathered, maybe, but that's there. That's public. It has been months since mobile app store credits purchase are stopped. Any idea if it will be enabled again soon? I think that's a Matt and Richard question, so I'm going to punt on that. Can you please implement more custom inventory tabs? It would be nice to add things that say cards I want to rent, in addition to the already rented out, among other things that players need with a growing card database. I guess put that into feedback.splinterlands.com. And I don't think you mean tab. I think you mean like options. I think that's from the drop-down list. But, put that stuff into feedback.splinterlands.com, and, we'll build what the community, we have a section of our devs that are just devoted to, community feedback, and we'll build what you guys want us to do. Let's see. Will there be any benefit for someone to run a validator node, even if they are not in the top 20 voted validators? I imagine so. I think we'll include the backup validators. I certainly think that it makes way more sense, because otherwise you get 20 dudes that don't really pay attention, and as opposed to like hundreds of people that are hungry to take the spot. So if anything, if I had my say, it would be Hive is the top 20 and one backup. I would do the top 20 and like 2 or 3 backups, and put more emphasis on like everybody rather than just the top 20 folks. Question: how many battle rule sets and playable splinters how are battle rule sets and playable splinters are determined? Totally random, or are there specific odds for each? I think, well, it depends on what league you're at. When you're earlier, it's capped and there's fewer, and then when it gets to like gold and diamond, I think it's pretty random. What are the specs to run a validator node? It'll be, I think those things are meant to be, like a pretty easily rentable virtual, what is it? VPS, virtual private server. But I don't think that it's meant to be like super expensive, but it's not, that hasn't been clarified yet. Question: are there any plans to change or add new rule sets or mana caps, considering the seemingly increased average mana cost, cast legion cards, and additional new skills? Yeah, I mean that's part of like the routine. I don't know that we have that on a schedule or anything yet, but we're definitely constantly adding rules, and I don't know that there's different mana caps, because I don't think that we need to go above 99, but maybe we need a couple that are like higher level. I don't know. We'll see. He bought skins. Nice. Who won those giveaway packs? Wasn't described yet. Question: did you get to hear the song After Sound Gaming made? It's Chaos Legion inspired. I posted the link earlier. I think I heard part of that. I don't know. I got to look back at what it was that I listened to. I've been like so swamped these days. Next up, can Feedback Forum have a post timeout feature where if a proposal hasn't received traction over a few days, the post is archived? Why don't you put that into feedback.splinterlands.com? I don't know. That's a better question for Richard. So we'll get there. All right. Let's cap questions at this point. Story mode plus land equals fire. The question, will there be airdrop cards for Rift Watchers? There were before for Orbs and Dice. I imagine yes for these as well. Question statement, since future airdrops have not been announced yet and adding a pity for the gold cards would be in line with adding the regular gold foil minimum that was added to airdrops in the general in the middle of the Untamed. That wasn't really a question. Okay. Yay, I got it right. 1.6 with a legendary potion. I'm awesome. Can you buff These Are the Fangs? She seems pretty underpowered. I don't know. Let's go see what her win rates are. Will the daily DEC rating be split among modern and wild format? Daily DEC percent rating. I don't know if you need an ECR. That question isn't like super clear to me, what you're actually asking. What team's planning to maintain DEC price as high as possible? Or what's the team's, what is the team planning to maintain DEC price as high as possible? We actually don't plan to maintain DEC price as high as possible. Our typical goal is to try to make DEC as stable as possible. The airdrop definitely screwed that up, but our goal is not to pump DEC. If anything, we would hope over time that the governance token does well, but it's not DEC. That's not our baby to like pump. When SLP price is still high, people that invest their money can break even point only in 1 or 2 months from SLP reward. Because of that, more people come to Axie and buy more Monster. Well, I think, didn't SLP lose like 90% of its value recently? I don't know. That's a funky one to compare against. No, our goal is not to pump DEC. Our goal is to, over time, make sure that is a stable, game-backed currency. When SPS reward for rank and brawl? Probably sometime after Modern and Wild comes out. No more questions. Okay, so was there anything else that we wanted to add for Digicon? Is Waffles here?
While we wait for Waffles, let me just throw this out. I'm going to post the link. For those of you who weren't aware of it or weren't at the last town hall or the one before, this is your chance to submit tips and strategies for gameplay that will be features as Splinter Bytes within the game. If you are chosen or selected, we will display your game names. You'll be immortalized within the Splinterlands website. And then if we can convince Aggie to give a maybe like a Chaos Legion pack or something to the winners, then I can partner with Asari and we'll announce those winners once that program launches. But here's your chance to kind of get a head start.
Yeah, I'm all over it. So I don't know what you got. Marketing has budgets and stuff. They can go put this into that. I'm happy to go support that. Let's do it.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Waffles, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. So,
Okay, awesome.
Waffles, tell us who you are and tell us what you're talking about.
Hey guys, this is Waffles, your Digicon event coordinator. So we have an awesome weekend right before us. So Digicon officially opened its doors a couple hours ago. We have a bunch of people already populating in from literally everywhere in the world. I was just checking. We have like I think there's almost 70 people live. We have half of them coming from the US and the other half coming from Europe, and then we have people splashing in from, let's see here, the Philippines. And where is this? I don't know where Surat is because geography was not my best subject. Anyways, I will be adding the schedule onto the official update site chat mentioned and a little bit of extra info. I just got some information in right now for additional swag, so you guys are hearing it first before it's even posted up be sure to get into the event. It's free to enter, and the the place you spawn into, you'll see the swag booth right away. It's not hard to miss, and a lot of really great people are here with us, especially the folks at Atomic Hub that took over a whole expo hall. Um, we also have one of our very own Stealth Trader hosting an electric dance party every day at 6 p.m. Eastern. We have a couple other stuff happening today as well. There's a blockchain gaming NFT panel with Dojira and Metaphors Comics doing like a NFT Action News live stream. Tomorrow is going to be super fun. So Aggie is gonna be there. We have for our welcome for our main event. We have Skylar Ramsey from Dojira, Jason Ray from Gala Games, and then we also have one of our very own Sir Snarfkin. He's also going to be talking about NFT utility that day. And there's also gonna be so many things, guys. This is like the most I've had to deal with in a while, and literally I was there online with a bunch of people from Australia yesterday. No, wait, 4 hours ago. So sorry, I missed out for the first part of the town hall, guys. There's honestly, it's a lot of fun hosting these events, and it's really fun playing and hanging out with you guys there.
Awesome. Now I think there was a contest. So
there's a couple contests. We have a lot of we have achievement badges going on, so you have a chance to earn some achievement NFTs there. We also have a scavenger hunt where you can win a NFT for that, and you can also win an art commission from me.
Awesome.
Yay! Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, everybody, and thanks, Ron, for posting that. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Right,
Thanks,
well, thank you.
Waffles. Okay. There was a separate marketing contest. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got 2 trivia questions if someone wants to win some free packs here. So I'm going to ask the questions out loud, and then first one that I see to answer it correctly in the chat, I'm just going to ping separately, and we'll get the packs there.
In the Discord chat.
Yeah, in the Discord chat. Sorry, I'm not going to reach out via DM. So first question is, what color are Isa's eyes? There's 2 colors also.
Did anybody get it yet?
I haven't seen anything yet. Oh, there you go. Sinclair got it. The answer was red and yellow. Sinclair, I'll ping you in 1 second just to confirm. And then the second question is, what is the name of the mountain/volcano in the latest Burning storyline?
Bribe Rose Castle is incorrect. Oh yeah, there's delays for everybody here too.
Wow, everyone went to go look up the blog post.
All right, well, Eggy, we can keep rolling here. I'll keep an eye out for the chat, and I'll message people if I see the answer come in.
Okay, awesome. Ron, was there anything else? Sorry, guys, voice from above. Okay, yeah, and just so you guys know, we're going to start moving this to Wednesdays instead of Fridays. So just be on the lookout that the whole kit and caboodle, the whole thing is going to shift over to Wednesdays from Fridays. So we'll announce that. We'll make sure that there's schedules and stuff that are posted. I think we're skipping. Are we skipping next week? So we're going to be here. Oh, that's right. So we're doing. There's a small company retreat, and a bunch of us that are normally on camera can't be here. So the first week of February we're going to skip, but next week we'll be here, and then that first week of February we're going to take a little break. But okay. So all of that said, stoked to have you guys here. The game is growing. The the revenues are growing, we are pouring those revenues back into some of the best freaking people we can find that are excited and just like high energy, passionate, competent, and able to work peacefully with one another. And there's a bunch of good people that we're looking for. Does anybody have the Breezy link handy? Because we should go post some of our jobs. Like, we're looking for an HR director. I don't know if anybody is qualified, but that's one of the, part of what we're doing is try to recruit so many people, and we don't have a damn HR director. So that's a little infuriating. But if there's somebody in the audience that thinks that they have the skills and experience, we are looking for a director of human resources and somebody that can help us hire and grow this team and get some sweet people in for creative and get people in for developers. And I don't know, there's a lot of opportunities here, and it's because this community has been supporting our game and supporting our project. There's some nice changes that are in the works, and there are some nice partnerships that I know I've been saying this for a bit, but I hope I get to announce these things soon. So I don't know. Game is off at like a freaking killer Chaos Legion start. To put it in context, we'll make last year we 17x'd the amount of revenue we had made previous, and we'll do 60% of that just in January. So like, the company's doing pretty damn well. We're hiring, we're bringing in people, and we're helping to grow this not just to us, but like this whole community. How do we get more players? How do we get more people? How do we get more talent? And how do we make this game as awesome as freaking possible? So, anyways, that's the plan. That's the goal. And I think we're well on our way. So with that, I want to say thank you to the community. This is a dream job to be able to do this. And, I'm absolutely thankful for you guys to help make that possible. So thanks so much. Thanks for being here. And we'll be back shortly. Thanks, everybody.